we took, in the last 10 minutes, everyone, and we put them in a cubicle, and we fired air conditioning at them, and we told them to do data entry on a computer, and we started eating our own brains.
Let's jump to a guy who I will have in studio here on Friday, my good buddy Adam Carolla, who has been, if I'm probably the #1 critic of Gavin Newsom, but you know what? I'll even hand it to Carolla because he still lives under his thumb. He still, for some freaking reason, lives in California. His house was not destroyed in the Malibu fires, but he has been one of the most outspoken advocates of what happened there and how the rebuilding has gone horribly and everything else. Here he is talking about how partly one of the things that is wrong with the country right now, one of the reasons that we seem to be depressed and filled with anxiety and all of that, is we are not building. There's no physicality to what we are doing anymore as we just stare at our phones endlessly.
I think the uptick in despair is connected to a couple of things. I feel it's more physical than it is spiritual, although it ends up being spiritual, which is we were meant to go out and work and be on our feet and sweat and be with nature and work on a farm and mend fences. And men and women had different roles, but there were roles, and they involved getting up in the morning, and they involved movement and sweat, and it involved an engagement. You had to sort of be careful or you'd lose your arm from an axe. You know what I mean?
One of the reasons Adam's great is because he explains sort of complex things in very, very simple ways. But he's right. What he said there is it's physical, but it ends up being spiritual, meaning back in the day, you want to go back 50 years, 100 years, 400 years, whatever it is. We were hunter and gatherers. You had to protect your own family. You had to actually do things. You had to go out there and learn to do something that was likely physical, right? You had to learn, you had to literally, all the videos, you can watch those incredible black and white videos that we show you sometimes of, these guys who were just average men that were building skyscrapers, and people had to learn how to do electrical work, and they learned how to change a tire. These are things that in our modernity, most people cannot do. Our skill set has been severely diminished because we've outsourced it all to this. Like, even think what having maps on your phone or in your car has done. In the old days, you had to kind of know how to get somewhere. And if you didn't know how to get there, I remember driving with my parents on vacations to all sorts of places, Lake George and going to Jersey Shore and all this. And if we'd get lost, my mom would have to bust out the map, and she usually had it upside down, and that never made my dad happy, but eventually we would get there. But we've outsourced all these things. We don't know how to do many things anymore. We're not out there physically making these things happen. So it's interesting. He describes it first as a physical problem that then becomes a religious problem, like a philosophical problem, right? Because if you're just twiddling on your thumbs all day, doing a lot of nothing, or everything's been solved for you, you might actually end up with more of an existential problem. Gold has officially gone mainstream. You're seeing it everywhere, and prices just keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are discovering the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? That's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Their specialists are trained to help advisors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, secure, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service from a trusted team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metal transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it's their commitment. Visit DaveRubinGold.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit. That's DaveRubinGold.com. Noble Gold, helping you build a stronger future. Here's one more from Carolla on that.
And we took, in the last 10 minutes, everyone, and we put them in a cubicle, and we fired air conditioning at them, and we told them to do data entry on a computer, and we started eating our own brains. I mean, they have studies that say, all the kids on Prozac and all the meds and stuff, hiking and classical music work better than all the serotonin reuptake inhibitors you can ingest. So we're having... You watch, Little House on the Prairie, no one was depressed. Everyone was miserable. but no one was depressed. And it's a disease of narcissism. We're spending too much time on our phones reading comments about ourselves. We're not wired for this. There's whether you're going, eye in the sky or you're going full Darwin, we're not made to be doing what we're doing. We're made to be on our feet, moving, sweating, and with purpose, creating something. So I think it's a lack of tangible physical activity that has now given way to this despair.
That's really funny. I'm going to talk to him about that on Friday. Everyone was miserable, but nobody was depressed. Do you remember Little House on the Prairie? Like, you guys don't remember that, right? For your time. Can I get a throw me a picture of Little House on the Prairie? Or maybe, you know what? Can we end today? We're going to end today's show. We're going to cold close with the intro to Little House on the Prairie. That's what we're going to do today. We're gonna see if we can grab that. But the idea there was they were building a society. They had one room school for everybody, and there was one guy who ran the drugstore, and there was the matchmaker, and they were out there and they had to build the fence and build the house, and everyone was miserable because it kind of sucked. You had to the bucket, but they weren't depressed. And we've given ourselves, modernity has given us all this stuff that was supposed to free us and oddly enslaved us. And this is the great challenge.